Today I'm going to be rendering Siena Marble, and as the name would suggest, Siena Marble comes from the area around Siena. Now, this particular kind of marble is a vibrant yellow colour. Now, the yellow can range from a very intense, almost sunset orange colour to a very sort of washed out, light, paler yellow. It can also vary in terms of its veining and in terms of the other colours that you will find in the marble slab. There can be a lot of greys, maroons, reds, etc. But as is the case with every piece of marble, every single one is different. So, you know, it's a lot to say about the uniqueness of marble is often, you know, the rationale behind why it's used so frequently, or at least one of the reasons. So, when I'm rendering anything, be it marble or wood or whatever it is, I always have at least one image of the material in front of me. Now, often I'll have two or three because I don't exactly, you know, want to replicate it, but also it just gives insight into the composition of that particular material. So the first thing I do is with a regular pencil, I line out the composition of the marble here, which I've already done. So this is roughly where the veining is going to be, and now I can use that as a guide when I'm applying my colours over it. Okay, so I've done that now. Now I'm going to decide where some of the main veins are going, and I'm going to put these veins in using a pencil. It's an aubergine coloured pencil, and now I'm going to hold the pencil like this, and I'm going to twist it a little bit so it gives that nice feathered effect that marble often has. You know, and some of the lines are going to be, you know, quite dominant, and others are going to be more feathery. You often see this kind of marble in pillars or fireplaces, you know, Georgian interiors as well. I mean, obviously it was very popular over a very long period of time, but in the Georgian and Victorian eras you will see it in kind of furniture and fireplaces, etc. I might even show you how to render a fireplace using this marble in one of my videos that I do in the future, let's say. And maybe some pillars as well. Now you can render in marble quite quickly, but I often find that part of the joy of this is actually getting to know your material and understanding all the different hues in the marble. You know, the colour of the field, that is the background colour, the variations that you can achieve, whether this marble when used in an interior space is going to create a cold feel or a warm feel. I think that's very important. I've often seen cold marbles used in interior spaces, and you know, too much of them is not great. It doesn't work that well, I'd have to say. So you need to get the proportion of your materials right too, and the better you understand your material, you know, the easier this is going to be for you. Okay, so I've put those lines in. I put them in a maroon colour now. Some of the kind of underlines, if you like, in the Siena Marble are greys running through underneath the yellows, but they can also be, you know, have a more red tone to them. So I decided to put the lines in a kind of in a maroon colour, maroon aubergine colour. Okay, now I'm going to take a cool light grey and I'm just going to hit in some underlines here. This marble is quite detailed. It'll just take a little bit of time to get it right. As I've said before, this is something I particularly like doing, so it's more a labour of love than anything else. Again, it's about building it up, so I can go in over these at any time if I feel I need more veining or more detail. There's a couple of kind of subtle little ones in the centre too. So you can see that these are more horizontal. In this particular piece of marble, it's not the case for all marble slabs, but in this particular piece of marble they're running in a horizontal way, some of those grey lines, the more subtle lines, and then the larger, heavier veins are running in diagonal formation. Now I have a lot of markers to choose from here actually. I just need to get the right one. Oops, so just bear with me. This is a good colour. Some of these are a bit darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in lightly first, using one of my Copic markers, and I can go over the colour with a pencil or whatever I need to as I move along. Now, okay, now just bear with me now for 1 second. Right, so I'm just going to throw this colour in. Now it's not a very vibrant colour at the moment, but again you can get Siena Marble that isn't particularly vibrant. You know, it's a lighter sort of washed out sort of version of what you can actually, you know, achieve with this. I'm just going to go over some of those veins again, maybe hit around them just with slightly darker tones to make them stand out. I mean, even looking at that would work very well. That's absolutely fine, but I just would like to put in a little bit more. I feel it needs a little bit more. Now, what you also find as well with these big veins is there can sometimes be just that grey vein running underneath, just to further enhance it. Quite a dark colour here, so I'm just going to see how that looks. The odd bit of this will work, not too much though. There will be, you know, dark areas in the marble. You just have to be careful about how much of this you put in. time to go back over with the grey. I'm just going to enhance these lines. And actually what's really good about this is it doesn't matter that you're not doing exactly the same vein, because that actually serves to, you know, show how these veins work within a marble slab, and that there's, you know, a lot more going on underneath. Okay, I think we have enough in there. Now I'm going to take a pencil and just enhance the colour a little bit. Now you can see immediately how this pencil is really just adding another layer, but almost a translucent layer over what's already there, just to really pull out those beautiful yellows that you find in Siena Marble. A very, very warm addition to any interior. Bloody expensive one too. You know, I mean, obviously this isn't going to be suitable for every budget, but and you can see I'm leaving kind of sections out just to more accurately represent how this marble would be. And you'll often see dots of white through it, and other colours too. This happens with the reds and the greys. This at my Copic marker too, just to take it down a little bit, to add more layers and more variation. I always think about, you know, how the marble evolved over time and all the layers that actually exist in it to create the beauty that we see in front of us today when we're choosing something for an interior. I'm just going to enhance this a little bit. Put in some very fine, darker lines running through. Now, I'm just going to go over some of these in the white to take them down. And there you have Siena Marble.